morning, this is Faith and Faith and Books, and I'm just going to do a very brief update of what I've been reading during Sustainability July. I am on vacation at the beach, and it's been a little bit hard to get reading done just because there's a lot of people here and my grandchildren are here, and so it's pretty distracting. So I haven't been doing a whole lot of reading, frankly. I've been trying to go out to the beach and read on the beach under the cabana, which is like a big umbrella, and that's been really nice. Also, my eyes are still really bad, which is why I'm having surgery later this month. And right now, I'm not feeling so well because, you know, while you're on vacation, you don't eat as well, and I have a sensitive stomach, so I'm feeling a little under the weather. But I'm just going to talk about what's working and what isn't working so far in my reading month. I was reading The Last Child in the Wood by Richard Louv, and it's a book I've been wanting to read for a long time, and I follow him on Facebook. I think it's Facebook. I thought I would really love it, and I don't. So I sort of DNF'd it. I'm probably his target audience because I'm convinced that children need to be outdoors more and connecting with nature more and all that kind of stuff. But I just don't like his writing style. He started off with just sort of nostalgia for his Midwestern childhood in the 50s. And that always kind of, when people romanticize the 1950s, you know, it was great for some people, but a lot of other people were suffering. Not everybody had this idyllic childhood, you know, out in nature in the Midwest. And so that sort of, I'm not good from that angle. That kind of approach kind of annoys me because I think it's, you know, and I'm not particularly woke, but even before woke became a word, before it was trending, that always irritated me about people sort of romanticizing the 1950s. Anyway, and then it might not be his fault, it might be because it's on the Kindle and I've been reading it so piecemeal, but because, you know, when you have a book, an actual book, you can see the table of contents every time you pick up the book, and so you understand the structure of it. I just didn't understand the structure, the way he was presenting his information. It seemed very scattered. So he would just pull like one quote from some research paper, but then you wouldn't learn more about it very much. You wouldn't get the whole context of the research paper. So it just seemed like a lot of cherry picking and a lot of anecdotal stuff. And that also kind of makes me irritated because, especially, and I'm a baby boomer, I'm on the tail end of it, but I just don't understand these baby boomers who are complaining about the way, you know, that childhood is different now. Well, we're the ones that changed it. We're the ones that got really safety conscious and started putting our kids in all these events instead of letting them, or activities, instead of letting them just run around outside. We're the ones that did it. So, and then we're going to complain about it? I don't know. So just his approach annoyed me, and it made me not read, and so I just stopped. I just decided to DNF it, and I went back to the Plastic, A Toxic Love Story, which I see is much better organized and much better written even. I just like the writing style better. I like the way it's organized. So she does it. She does the history of plastic through 7 common plastic objects. So the first one was the plastic home. The second one was bucket chairs. You know, those plastic, you know, in the 60s they were all the rage, and then they fell out of fashion. They're just ugly, but very cheap to make. And then the one I'm in, I'm only like 36% or something through the book, but the one I'm in now is the history of the Frisbee, which is quite interesting. But it's very interesting about how, you know, before World War II, they had invented plastic, and they were trying to figure out, they could see the potential, they were trying to figure out how to use it best. World War II really accelerated everything. And then when the war ended, you had all these big companies, these petrochemical companies that were all geared up, and they created this infrastructure, but now they needed, there wasn't a war anymore, so they needed to find something else to produce. And plastics is what they turned to. So it's, you know, I've talked about this book many times on my channel. I really enjoy that. So I've gone back to just reading that. And then the other book I'm reading is this children's book the Burgess Seashore Book for Children by Thornton W. Burgess. And I had forgotten that he was a naturalist. He was not only a children's writer, he also wrote a column for a newspaper for like 50 years. He was a really prolific writer. And this is a wonderful book. I'm learning so much about life along the seashore, all the different types of crabs or clams. I did not know that little neck clams are baby cherrystone clams. Did you know that? And that if cherrystone clams get even bigger, they're called quahogs, Quahog. I'd heard those terms about clams, but I didn't know the difference. So just lots of really nice information about the seaside, and using these characters that he has from his series of books, like Old Mother West Wind and Reddy Fox, Jimmy Skunk, Danny the Meadow Mouse, and then we meet Gray Wing the gull. We meet Barker the seal. So he was in New England, so this is a New England, but he doesn't just stay with New England. He talks about crabs and clams and lobsters that you can find in the South and over on the Pacific coast. So he doesn't just stick with New England. So it's really, I'm finding it really charming, and it's got these, not, I guess they were better. This is just kind of reprinted. It's not, probably had better definition in these illustrations, but I'm finding it's really, really interesting. And yesterday I was on the beach and I saw a crab, and I got up and I, videoed it. I was like, oh, look, a crab, because I've been reading this book. So this is delightful. I'm enjoying that very much. And then we found a bookstore, and it's called Island Books, and I happened to find this book, Reforesting Faith. What trees teach us about the nature of God and his love for us. And as I've said before, I'm a believer, and I love my Creator, and I love the creation he gave us, and that's why I want to care for this earth, because it's a gift from God, and that's why I'm so passionate about everything. That's why I really believe in sustainability and permaculture, and why I'm interested in finding alternatives to plastics and all that stuff, because it's, I just love this beautiful gift that we've all been given, and we take for granted horribly. So I thought this would be interesting from a Christian perspective, and it's written by a doctor, Matthew Sleeth, MD. So anyway, I snapped that up, and I might add that to my TBR. All right, so I think I've talked enough, and I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're trying to avoid plastic whenever you can, and I hope that you're trying to live a more sustainable lifestyle, because it really is deeply counterculture, and to me, it's deeply meaningful. I mean, it adds a whole new layer of meaning to my life, so I really embrace it. Anyway, okay, enough from me. I hope you're doing well. Happy reading. Bye.